Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Build Your Team show. I am your host, as always, Achieva. And today I have Ada Joe with me. We're going to have a really special conversation that's slightly different than the ones that we've had before here on the show. And we're going to be focusing on you because that's where she specializes. And as always, we're brought to you by Client Attraction Pros, helping thought leaders make video marketing fun, easy, and painless. Ada, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Atiba. It is so nice to be here with you. I've been looking forward to this opportunity to just chat and talk to you. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And so y'all know, it's taken us a little while to schedule because our schedules kept going back and forth and we've been super busy. But I was introduced to you a few months ago by my friend, your friend, Mele Ostole on LinkedIn. And now you guys who are listening, watching this, you'll probably remember his interview that we did like 6 months ago, which was absolutely brilliant. One of the smartest, kindest people out there.
Oh, man.
And when he said I needed to meet Ada, I said, okay, I'm going to trust you on that. And we had a fantastic conversation and I completely understood why we needed to meet. And so I want to start our conversation here because I've made this really big promise. And that really big promise was that this is going to be a different conversation and it'll be a really good one. And here's why. Because listen to her slogan. Y'all ready for this?
Yep.
Awaken the man you've been waiting to meet. Awaken the man that you've been waiting to meet. And then it continues even, he's been waiting to embrace you. Now, ladies, if you're listening to this and you're saying, well, I'm not a man, so I want to turn this off right now. Don't do that. Because I think there's going to be something, number one, that you may learn here too. But number two, there are probably some men in your life who need to hear what Ada has to say. So Ada, tell me, let's start with the slogan.
Yes.
What does it mean?
That slogan means, I'm thankful that you said something about women don't turn off, because all of us are in that same place. You know, I was too. But so many of us are in the place that we know we can be more. We just haven't been able to get there yet. We're struggling. We take one step forward and we take 2 steps backwards. Well, that's what I do, is to help men just take that step and continue to take that step till you are able to meet that man that you want, that you know you can be, and that man that has been waiting to embrace you, because that man is just there waiting for the day that you stop being afraid and step into that human being that you know you can be.
So I'm not going to give you any softball questions because this is a real, I'm just going to be real with you, right? Because we got to dig into this here because we're talking to men, we're talking about men, and we're talking about talking to women for men as well here. And the reality is, number one, most men don't seek help. How do you find and help these men who we're conditioned to not seek help?
Yeah, I also like the word you use. We're conditioned to not seek help. That is one of the main reasons why I do what I do. When I became a coach, I was coaching everyone. I was coaching women, I was coaching men. But I found out that most of the guys that I coached needed more help. They were finding it very difficult to reach out for help. But once that they feel safe, they're able to walk through whatever that they're dealing with. So that was when I switched and I started working with mainly, I still work with some women, but mainly men, just to give them a safe space to land, to be able to ask for that help. It's not that they don't want to ask for help, but the word you use, they are conditioned not to ask for help. And sometimes fear sets in. Some other times ego sets in. But once they are able to trust, to feel safe, magic happens.
Wow.
And that's when they meet the man that they've been waiting for. And that is ready to embrace them. And you know it when you're in that position too.
Right. Yes. I'm speaking for men here. I think I'm a little bit qualified.
You're very, very qualified. You're very qualified.
And I'm speaking to the man listening who his initial statement and retort is, I'm not conditioned. So what are some signs that you are conditioned?
Okay. Culturally, as in our society, men,
Mm-hmm.
black, blue, yellow, whoever we are, from childhood, from boyhood, we tell our boys, men don't cry. Don't do this, don't do that. That is the conditioning from childhood. In a way, some people fight over masculinity. I don't fight over masculinity. Men has to be masculine, yes. But doesn't mean that you're not masculine, doesn't mean that you're masculine or not. I don't fight over masculinity. A man has to be a man, but there's also a soft side of men that you have to get in touch with. That's where I stand. And the conditioning, like you said, starts from boyhood. In there, you go play soccer. As a kid, as a 5, 6 year, 7 year old, we expect them to do magic. We expect them not to cry because they lost. Instead of us to tell them that it's okay for them to also embrace this part of them, that everything doesn't have to be fight. You don't always have to be strong. You don't always have to be strong as a man to achieve what you need to achieve. Men can cry. We tell men you don't cry. Who on earth stays without feeling emotions? We are created with emotions. We are humans of emotions.
Right.
And
Right.
when we don't get in touch with our emotions, we become stoic. And that doesn't help anybody. That you can feel your own self. How will they feel the next person that is beside you? So that's what I mean by we being conditioned. We can start breaking those down once you start getting in touch with your own self.
So, and I want to be clear, I agree with you. And I know that there are men listening right now who are going to push and fight back, right? And so my questions that I'm asking gentlemen listening right now are the questions that I believe are running through your mind. Okay. That's what I'm asking right now so that she can really help us. So we want Ada to be able to really help us through some of this understanding, because yes, we talk about men don't cry, right? Yes, we talk about being tough. And you went to masculinity, which I'm going to come to in just a minute. Then there's this other side of the ideology that we've been conditioned with, that most men, I think, will argue that I have to be tough to survive, that the toughness is actually what helps me to survive. Mm-hmm. That gives me the grit to go through. So when a man is in that place, where do you go with him? How do you help him?
In some way, I agree with that. Being strong gives you the grit to push ahead. Mm-hmm. But you still have to get back in touch with your own self. You can't always be strong. You have to be strong and you have to get back in touch with your own self. But that's what I tell them. That's where I come in. You go to work, you are at 100%. You are great, strong, just getting it done because you're doing what you need to do to get it done. But you still need time to step back and settle down and come back home and give your wife a hug and give your kids a hug and be okay when they mess things up. You have to find that balance where you are able to do that. And that's what I help men to do. And when you're not able to get off that stage of always being in action, it messes up all your relationships. And you're not happy.
I want to ask this question then, because we're talking about this, and there are two parallels that have existed, right? So as young boys, we're taught to be strong, to be tough, fight back your emotion, deal, don't be a wuss, don't be a this, don't be a that. And that's masculinity. Rub some dirt on it, and that's masculinity. And,
Toxic.
say again?
Toxic. Toxic masculinity.
We are taught that that's masculinity,
That's what you guys are taught. That's masculinity.
right? That's what we were conditioned to believe. Now, what I'm hearing you say is it's not even that is necessarily wrong. It's when that is, and this is where the word now comes in. There's imbalance between that and the ability to get in touch with yourself and deal with the emotion and deal with the realities of situations from the emotional, psychological, even spiritual, probably side of the world, right? And it's that imbalance that creates toxicity.
It's that
Right.
imbalance.
And so here's my question, because this is what I think I'm hearing you say. And so I want to make sure this is what you're saying. So it's not that masculinity is an or, like we've been taught. It's that masculinity is an and. So in other words, we've been taught you are either soft and in touch with your feelings, which is not masculine, or tough and not in touch with your feelings, and that is masculine. And you're saying that it's and
it's
not
both.
Or.
It's not this or that. It's both. It's both. We have both. As a man, you have both. Also, some women have the both. Some women, their testosterone level is high, so they have also a little bit of more masculinity in them. And some men, that's on the level where a lot of men live, but you still have the other side of you. How are you going to balance it? And find peace. And find peace so that you don't always have to feel that I have to be strong in every situation of my life. I don't have to be, I can't show my emotions. I can't say I'm ill. I can't say I'm depressed, I'm sad. Those are not bad words. Those are words that I want every man to put in their vocabulary. I want men to learn how to say, I feel so sad today. Or, hey, wifey, I feel so sad and depressed today. And it's okay. And it's okay. It doesn't make you any less a man. It doesn't. It just even makes you a brave man.
It's interesting because once again, I'm going to put words in the mouth of men, and these words I'm taking out of my own mouth even at times, because if you do say I'm sad or I am scared about something, that you are going to appear less than. So let's balance this. Let's balance this. Men, if you are in a relationship and you haven't come to this point yet, then let me help you come to this point. Okay. Women in a relationship often want security. Okay. The reason that we don't want to share an emotion is because it seems that emotion is going to make her feel insecure. Which then leads us as a guy to feel like, well, if she feels insecure, then I'm being less of a man, and then she's going to want more of a man.
Yes.
Right? So how do we balance that in what you were just saying of you've got to be able to come and say, Ada, I feel sad today. Wifey, I feel depressed today. And dealing with the conditioning that if we say that, she's going to think less of us.
Yes. And that's the biggest problem most people, most men have. So how do we deal with that? Atiba, I'm so glad you are also a guy that you're talking to men. When I started this work, a lot of people are like, how are you going to make men believe that you know what you're talking because you don't feel what they feel? So I don't feel what you feel, but I've worked with a lot of men that feel what you feel. I have worked as a nurse for many years and I see it every day. So I understand it, what you're feeling. And for us not to be able to tell you as a woman that it's okay. I love strong men, but I also love men that can get in touch with their soul. And I'm telling you as a woman, most of us do love that. Because you told me you're sad today doesn't mean that you'll be sad forever.
Right.
It's just that we can get help. If we don't get help, then you'll be sad forever. You'll be sad forever. But if you tell me that you're sad today, a woman that is right for you will support you to get over it.
Now, I want you to say that again. Say that last sentence. A woman
that is right for you will help you get over it. And you get back to being the man that you are. Instead of just staying sad, and a bigger picture of this, staying sad and staying depressed and not dealing with it, then you start looking for other ways to cope. And that woman that you're trying to keep will then leave because she cannot cope with the things that you're using to cope with this thing that we could have walked through, just both of you. And that brings us to mental health. We all look at mental health as, oh, that person have a mental illness. No. Mental health is on a spectrum. Just like we just talked about now, somebody like coming in, your work, things are going on the job, you're so sad, you're so frustrated, you're overwhelmed, you can't share with anybody, you're not addressing it. Bro, you're going through a mental health episode.
Yeah.
It might not be an illness.
Definitely something.
It's there. You're going through a mental health episode, which need to be addressed. And if we don't address it now, it progresses. It becomes something else, which might even lead you to mental health illness.
Well, you said 2 mouthfuls just now.
I pulled it straight. I pulled it up. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so I was trying to decide where to go with the mouthfuls that you gave us just now. Because you started off with the statement that I asked you to repeat, just about the correctness of a relationship and the choice that you made in this relationship and that support. Then you went and you took us down the mental health path and said something that I think most people, and I say most people because I'm going to tell you that this was me too, ignore that it's a spectrum. And sadly, at this point in time, coming out of COVID, we're all on the spectrum.
We're all working on it.
And if you haven't paid attention to that yet, it's time that you do. Because then you went into coping mechanisms. And so many of us developed coping mechanisms during COVID that some were positive, a lot weren't. So if you're listening to this and you know that you're different today than you were before COVID, and you know that that difference isn't positive, then hear Ada clearly and realize it's time to get help because you're on the mental health spectrum. You're trying to run a business. You're trying to lead a team. You're trying to lead a staff. You're trying to lead a family. And I'm not saying that you have to be perfect to do all of those things. That's not the point. But the point is that you do have to be honest about who you are as you do all of those things and the progress that you're making and your strengths and your weaknesses. That's why I said this is going to be a really different but really important conversation for all of us.
And let me put something to what you just said now. Yes, all of us. And many of us just picked up ways of coping in the last 2 years. Many of us have found out that it's not serving us well. And also finding difficulty of, I don't know what else. And I say it this way. It is what it is. I just want you to give yourself grace that it is what it is. And it's okay to find help so that you can get out of that wheel that is just rolling that you don't know how to get out of yet. It's okay. That's where it is right now. And it's okay. But if you keep staying there, that's when it becomes not okay.
Right. Yes. Yes. There's so much power in that statement. It is what it is if it's used correctly. And we talk about this even in business, but in your life here, it is what it is. says that functionally, I can admit that it is where it is right now. That does not mean that that has to be where it is 10 minutes from now.
No,
It can change. But right now, it is what it is.
it is what it is.
I can't live in the past.
But we can change the next second. We can change the next minute. We can change it. But we'll have to live above fear to change the next minute. And that might just mean to pick up a phone, pick up your phone. That might just be all it is that will make that next minute different.
Yeah. So I know that you help men get to this point of it is what it is, and then recognize what that next moment is, and then get out of that situation and walk away from those situations on the spectrum, dealing with themselves, getting in touch with themselves and the relationships and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
So now, as a man has progressed through some of this and is starting to actually live out your slogan, if you will,
Mhm.
what's next for him?
Okay, where we start with it is what it is. From where we came from to where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
When we find purpose, we discover your why. When we discover your why, most people, it's just the light clicks that you start looking for. Now you know what is out there for me. What am I created in this world to do? What it is for me. Yeah, so many people are struggling to find out what is next. Just like we're also saying, what are the new habits that will help me be a better man, be a better dad,
Right.
be a better
Right.
husband, even be a better human being for my own self. So when you are able to discover your why, your purpose in life, that changes a lot of things. It helps you start building better habits for yourself. It helps you stay focused in creating the wealth and legacy that you want for your family, building your business, being a better dad, being a better husband or spouse, or whatever you just want for yourself. So that's how the program that I run, that's how we run it.
So there's got to be a point of friction that exists there. And that point of friction, so I've come through and I've started to deal with myself, and I've started to deal with the emotion, and I've become better. And now I'm working towards my why. But so if my why is here, but I am here, are we going cold turkey? Like, let's say I'm being completely facetious. Okay. But let's say you are a business owner running a decent sized company, but you realize that your why is, being facetious again, sailing yachts.
Yep.
And picking up trash around the ocean.
Yes.
Is it, okay, bye company, I'm going to get my yacht tomorrow? Or is there a process?
There has to be an alignment for us to live the best life, to live the life that we were created to live. And sometimes it takes guts for us to find that alignment and be that alignment. Sometimes it doesn't happen right away. We have that friction. Yeah, that friction might take a little bit. But if most people, you look back, it's like, maybe this is why. I had a story of a guy that was running a company, just like what you said, but just found that every time I run this company, I get the business to where it's running, it's functioning well. He sells it off and start over doing something else until he found his why. He discovered that this is who I am. I want to find better ways to do things to contribute to people's life. So that's why he will build this business, and the business becomes big. It doesn't satisfy again. He finds something new. So that's who he is. So instead of beating himself up for that, now you know that that's who you are. Then you just live your life contributing to impact other people's life, knowing that that's what that is. So that brings a lot of clarity. Is the beginning of self-awareness. If you have that friction, it might take you time to merge it. But for some people, until you merge it, you don't find peace. You're still in misalignment.
Until you, I'm writing it down, find magic, you don't find peace.
you don't find peace.
That's a mic drop moment right there. We can literally leave this right there. Until you find that magic, you won't find peace. And so if there isn't peace in your life right now, you know that you're out of alignment, you haven't found that magic, and it probably goes back to not being in touch, dealing with some of that conditioning that we started off talking about that's been holding you. Okay. That's been holding you. And it's time. It's time. It's time. And ladies, if you're listening and you're hearing, some of this applies just to you just as well, but there may be men in your life that you know need to hear this. Please pass this episode to them. But more importantly, if you're that guy who realizes that you don't have peace, or if you're a lady who knows of a man who doesn't have peace, this is what Ada does. She helps men get there. So Ada, I got to ask you as we close here, for somebody who wants to awaken the man you've been waiting to meet, they're ready to awaken that man, how do they get in contact with you?
They can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm also Ada Joe. They can reach out through my website. My website is adajoe.com. So you can reach me either way. I'll be willing and ready to help you discover your why and get in alignment.
That is awesome. Ada, thank you so much for being here. Everybody, Ada Joe. And again, if you haven't begun doing this work, it's time. Coming out of the pandemic, you need to do this. It's going to help you. It's going to help you. So reach out to her on LinkedIn. We've got the link down below in the description that you can find. It goes directly to her LinkedIn, and start a conversation with her today. Don't delay. Don't delay. Ada, thank you so much for being here. You've been such a great guest, and thank you for bringing this awesome topic to us.
Thank you so much, Atiba, and I can't wait for us to discover your why.
Yes. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.